When you first launch your business, you are not going to start making profit right away. That's because you have to spend a lot of money to launch that business and promote it to people. And it also takes some amount of money to produce whatever you are producing. So, when you are starting out, you are incurring a loss. And your goal should be to cross the break-even point and start making profit. The break-even analysis is an important analysis you need to do before approaching any investors, because they will want to know when your business is going to start making profit. This video is about break-even analysis. Keep watching and you will learn all about it. But before talking about break-even analysis, I need to remind you to subscribe. You can consider subscribing to the channel while watching this video. Before talking about break-even point or break-even analysis, let's talk a little bit about fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed costs are the costs that you have to pay no matter what. Just by starting your business, you have to pay these costs. These are the costs of your factory rent, the salaries of the workers. You have to pay these costs no matter if you are producing 50 units or 5 million units of your product. These costs are fixed. Variable costs, on the other hand, are the costs that you have to pay for each additional unit of production. For example, if you are selling orange juice, you have to buy oranges to produce a certain number of units. These oranges in this case are your raw materials. And the cost for these oranges are going to be your variable cost. Fixed cost and variable cost together is going to make your total costs. Now that you understand what fixed cost and variable cost is, we can move on. Now, let's look at a graph to understand the break-even analysis. You have the unit of production in one axis and the amount of money in another axis. Here you have cost and revenue. The point where the revenue line crosses the cost line is going to be the break-even point. Your revenue is going to start at 0, but your cost, that is, your total cost, is not going to start at 0. That is because of your fixed costs. This portion of the cost is actually the fixed cost of doing business. If you start your business, you have to have that cost no matter what. And this portion is your variable cost. At the break-even point, the cost and the revenue are going to be the same. So, according to theory, after a business has reached its break-even point, it becomes a profitable business. Before that point, the business is running at a loss. By looking at the equation that I am going to show you right now, we can find out how many units we need to sell in order to reach the break-even point. And this is the equation. You have fixed cost on the top and the selling price per unit minus the variable cost per unit at the bottom. If you deduct the variable cost per unit from the selling price per unit, you will get the amount of money that you make per unit. So you are just dividing that from the fixed cost. The bottom part actually gives out what you are making per unit. So when you run the numbers, you are going to get the number of units you need to sell to reach the break-even point. And after reaching that point, your business will start making a profit. Now, whether your business will make any profit or not depends on whether you can sell this particular amount of your product or service to your potential customers. Believe it or not, a lot of businesses do not even reach their break-even point and have to be closed. That's the risk of starting a business. And that is all I'm going to talk about break-even point for this video. You can like, share, subscribe, comment, and everything else. You already know that. Another thing I'd like to remind you about is that I have a Patreon and you can support me over there if you want to. Now, a small bonus. Nikola Tesla was born in July 10th, 1856 and he lived until January 7th, 1943. This is the official end of this video. Thank you so much for watching if you are still watching. And lastly, I really hope you have learned something new today. Goodbye for now.